So next in my DNA journey, Mesolithic 1 period, oldest South American inhabitant, Los Vilos commune. Coquimbo region, Chile. I matched 0.05% DNA to this sample and apparently genetically closer than 42.44% of genome link users. So this sample represents the skeletal remains of a prehistoric individual excavated from the Los Vilos archaeological site, situated in the Los Vilos community within the Coquimbo region of central Chile, often categorized culturally under the ancient South American or early Palladian eras. This sample provided some of the earliest high-quality ancient DNA (aDNA) recovered from the southern cone of South America. Chronology dating. The calendar date approximately 9,935 BCE, with the wider burial layer dating to between 10,420 and 9,450 BCE. The age roughly 12,000 years before present BP. Historical era. Late Pleistocene to early Holocene transition, though traditionally termed Palladian in American archaeology. It corresponds temporarily to the Old World Mesolithic. The DNA analysis extracted from the skeleton revealed highly precise genetic markers. Male, Y DNA haplogroup, paternal haplogroup was Q-M902, specifically a subclade under Q1b. Paternal haplogroup Q is highly characteristic of the initial indigenous populations migrating into the Americas. The mtDNA haplogroup, the maternal line, C1b45 under the mitochondrial group C. This direct maternal lineage is commonly observed among early and modern Native American populations. The Los Vilos site is geographically optimal, boasting valley geography with immediate coastal access. The lifestyle, the individual belonged to a mobile group of hunter-gatherers. The geographic location allowed these people to exploit a diverse mix of marine coastal assets and terrestrial valley resources. Tool tradition. Artifacts found within the context of the burial associate this individual with early South American stone tool traditions. The broader scientific significance. Sample I11974 was part of a landmark 2018 global study published in Cell. This research completely reshaped understanding of the Americas' early population dynamics by demonstrating the Clovis link. Genetic material from Los Vilos proved a shared ancestry between the oldest North American genomes associated with the Clovis culture and the earliest Central/South Americans. Rapid radiation. It confirms that the first lineage of the Native Americans spread differentiated down the Pacific coast incredibly quick. Where does my mtDNA match with this sample at 0.05%? The Native American C1b45 mitochondria lineage of this sample and the European/Near Eastern J1C3 lineage connect deep in the human evolutionary tree at mitochondrial haplogroup L3, which represents a common maternal ancestor who lived in Africa roughly 60 to 70,000 years ago. Because they belong to two separate primary branches of the human maternal family tree, their branches split almost immediately after the out of Africa migration. So the common ancestor group is haplogroup L3. The connection point is that it's the foundational maternal lineage for virtually all non-African people living today. The divergence, shortly after L3 emerged, it mutated and split into two massive sibling lineages, M and N, which carried the maternal genetic code out of Africa. The path to C1b45 via macro haplogroup M. From L3, the branch mutated into macro haplogroup M, moving eastward across Asia. CZ to C. Inside Asia, M branched into CZ, which eventually mutated into haplogroup C around 24,000 BCE. The archaeological excavation of this person, I'm going to say, revealed very specific details about how he was laid to rest approximately 11,000 to 12,000 years ago. His skeleton was incomplete. The remains belonged to an adult male estimated to be between 40 and 45 years old at the time of his death. The skeleton was found in an incomplete state. He was intentionally buried lying on his side, a lateral position, with his knees bent toward his torso in a semi-flexed posture. This compact fetal-like layout is highly characteristic of early prehistoric hunter-gatherer burials across South America. His body was discovered in a distinct sand layer completely underlying the main shell midden. He was laid down before the massive accumulation of discarded seashells and coastal debris built up over the subsequent millennia of human occupation. Unlike late individuals at the site, whose graves were directly integrated into the dense, rich layers of human-made refuse, this pioneer's body was buried directly into the natural terrain during an ephemeral early occupation event. His burial stands in stark contrast to the later inhabitants of the Los Vilos site, reflecting the highly mobile and ephemeral lifestyle of South America's earliest coastal pioneers. The archaeological context of his immediate surroundings reveals the following details. A minimalist environment. There were no offerings. There were no deliberate ritual items, hunting weapons, jewelry, or animal bone necklaces placed with this body. The deep, consolidated sand layer where he was buried contained very few signs of human activity. Archaeologists recovered only a sparse amount of debitage, waste flakes from making stone tools, a couple of basic cores, and two bifacial stone tools with the entire layer. However, these were scattered in the surrounding sediment as general occupational debris rather than placed intentionally in the grave as funerary offerings. Next up on my mtDNA journey, Mesolithic 1, enigmatic male of Siberia, stroke Siberian ancestor of Native Americans. Kolyma 1, Kolyma River, Russia, 0.04%. And I match closer to this sample than 53.1% of other genome link users.